Good afternoon. After that stumble mumble mess that I call a video series yesterday that did talk about finding the sweet spot and matching the angles, I certainly want to add to it and explain why do we do all those steps? Why do we choose to find the sweet spot, and why are we matching the angle? Well, first of all, for me, I match the angle because I want to identify what that knife maker sent me. I want to know what angle that is, so I, in my experience with the knife, know where I'm starting at. See, the angle, like I said, matters, so I'm going to clamp it up and I'm going to do so that I can reach it, and then I'm going to match it. And I start out wide and I walk down looking to get the contact patch bigger as I paint the marker. First I found the sweet spot so that I could reach it with my marker, and then I match that angle. Okay, and then I can record that angle and I have that position, and all that stuff we did yesterday in those videos or whenever you're watching them, all that stuff is to get that starting spot on your knife to start working on it. And you're going to record that as your position, your starting position in your sharpening log. That's always the 0 point you go back to. Okay, all that stuff said, why are we doing this? Why is there a clamping method? Because all that stuff I said is involved, right? If you choose, we'll go back to this thing, like this method. I don't care what knife it is, whether it's a flat slicing knife, it's the same method. Then I split it in half and I clamp it level. This knife has that clamping method. Different knives, pocket knives, folding knives, it doesn't matter. I apply the same method, and I do that because it makes it that each knife that I look at, each knife I go to sharpen, it's not starting and looking at it as a separate thing. You don't have to clamp your knives like this. Find what works for you. After finding a few sweet spots, there should be something that aligns in your style of doing it that got you there, that gives you a starting point, a consistency among your method that you can apply to everything. See, we want to simplify this because the process becomes involved. And if you can clamp the knife the same, any knife the same or similarly, it simplifies, and then you're doing each knife the same, so the process becomes easier and it becomes second nature, which is why I said when I was doing it, I was like having to act like I was doing it, be theatrical, because I've done it so many times that it's second nature. You're looking to find that second nature. When you look at a knife, you know how to sharpen it. So that's what I did. So it becomes hard for me. And that scimitar was a good one because I haven't really tried to find the sweet spot. And I know from my clamping experience and what I'm talking about with the arc of rotation, the scientific study, I don't know off the top of my head the name of Van Hooven or one of those real smart guys, Young, or they wrote papers on it where they studied the guided system and where in this theory does it fall off. And it just in simple, the angles match best towards the center, and as you get out to the extremes, working on the extreme of your clamped knife, then it falls off. So that lends itself to my balanced sharp clamping to take advantage of that so that the angle that I'm setting at is distributed across the whole board evenly. Let me stop here.